What's going on, everybody? It's Joel here. We are already halfway through 2023, and I gotta be honest with you, it hasn't been a huge year for training shoes as of yet. We still have the release of the Metcon 9 coming up and the Born Primitive shoe. I think there are a couple, maybe 3 more shoes that I can't really say anything about that I believe are coming this year, but otherwise, yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of things in the training shoe world. But somebody had asked me on my Instagram if I would do an update video for what I think is the best training shoes of 2023. And while these aren't gonna be like, I'd say the best shoes of 2023, that list, you know, isn't really definitive as of yet. This is just kind of the rotation that I've been working with lately. So in no particular order, I'm just gonna go through the shoes that I've been using and what I have been using them for. This is like the stuff that I've been using the most often this year. So to start it off, let's start with the VIVO PRIMUS LITE knits. So I've always said that I don't really like training in barefoot shoes, and I still will. I'm sticking to that. I don't really train that much in barefoot shoes, but I wear these shoes very often. I wear them like almost daily. The time that I spend outside of the gym, I'm usually in some kind of barefoot shoes. And though I said the Avancus are probably the best shoes for like training, or as far as barefoot training goes, those are mainly for days where I'm doing lifts. For these, if there's like more Metcon stuff, more body weight stuff, not just a ton of lifting, then I'll probably wear my PRIMUS LITE knits. Out of all the VIVO shoes that I've tried, these are the best ones for training. I've literally tried every single pair, and I own every single pair, and I still wear every single pair, but these ones are my favorite, just overall, just like daily wear and training. I really like the PRIMUS LITE knits. Okay, so next up, let's go with something that's not necessarily new, but is still a very, very good option. The strike-mvmnt HAZE. These ones I wear probably a third of my time training. I still wear my strike-mvmnt HAZE all the time. I still think that they're one of the best and most well-rounded training shoes. And it just kind of depends on the day, but I know that these can take care of whatever I needed to do that day. This is the purple HAZE colorway. It's pretty sick. I think the pictures and stuff don't really do this one any kind of justice. There was the white and black gradient too. That's also a very, very sick colorway. So they've been coming out with some really nice colorways, keeping the shoe pretty fresh. There's some new ones coming out pretty soon, but I still think the Strike HAZE are one of the best training shoes, the most well-rounded training shoes you can get. And the next shoe that I would probably split the third of my training shoe time with between the Strike HAZE is the red ones. The reds are still some of my favorite training shoes. And I know a lot of people compare these shoes. To be honest with you guys, it just kind of depends on the day and what I'm wearing. I still think that both of these shoes are excellent training picks. They're very, very well-rounded. I would say if I'm doing more running stuff, more bodyweight stuff, then I would probably go with my Strike HAZE. They're a little bit lighter and they feel a little bit more flexible and agile. Whereas if I'm doing a little bit more barbell stuff that day mixed in with bodyweight and Metcon, maybe a little bit of running, then I will pick my Rads. I think that they are a little bit more stable. For lifting, it just kind of, but yeah, it just kind of depends on the day, and like really, you can't go wrong either way you go with these shoes. Okay, so the next shoe might be kind of a surprise because I mean they're not really even training shoes. They're actually supposed to be like running shoes that you can train in, or you can do HIIT or boot camp, and that's kind of how they market them. They are the Saucony Freedom CROSSPORT. So these are running shoes. They have Pebax foam. So there's like some pretty good energy return here, and they have a 4mm drop. They are more on the stable side of running shoes, but I mean, if you're thinking about like training shoes, these are gonna feel like, you know, marshmallows compared to normal training shoes. They're still pretty soft, and while they are running shoes. I have been able to do a ton of lifting in these just for funsies. Like, I honestly wouldn't be maxing out or really even trying anything heavy at all unless I was like reviewing these shoes. On a typical day, I would probably use these for like, you know, body weight workouts that had running, burpees, wall balls, kettlebells, dumbbells, stuff that's not super heavy. I wouldn't be using these for super heavy deadlifts or back squats, but I did actually try them out and they did okay. I wouldn't say that they were the best shoe for them, but if you had to lift in a pinch, I think that these are great shoes. So everybody's always looking for training shoes that you can run in. This is on the other side. These are running shoes that you can actually get away with a pretty good amount of training in. Plus, I think they look pretty good. Okay, moving on. The next shoe, I think everybody could kind of guess at this point, but it is the Nano 13. So I would say that these are probably the most used shoe for training that I have been using this year. So let's say that I probably use the Strike HAZE and the red probably about 30%. I probably use these the extra 40% of the time, and I find that the Nano 13s, they just work for any situation. The only time that I'm not taking Nano 13s is if it's a run day. But if it's a day that has body weight stuff, box jumps, like normal Metcon stuff, and then there's some lifting involved, I'm almost always gonna take these shoes. I think that the Nano 13s are some of the best CrossFit shoes at the moment, and I have been using these Nano 13 or Nano Classics in particular a lot lately. So the Nano Classics they're a little bit heavier than the normal Nano 13, which is not so great, but to me they feel a little bit more flexible and a little bit softer. They fit a little bit on the tighter side as well, so you might need to size these up. I got them in a size 10 and they're a little bit tight. I do have a size 10.5 as well, and those I think fit me a little bit better, but it just kind of depends on what I'm doing that day. Like if I'm doing more Metcon stuff, I'll probably wear the 10.5s. If I'm doing more like lifting stuff, then I'll probably just wear the 10s because I just feel more secure in these shoes. And I think overall, the Nano 13s, you can do no wrong with these shoes, except if you're like doing a ton of running or you expect to do a ton of running. That still sucks in Nano 13s. But like literally everything else in the CrossFit spectrum, I think the Nano 13s handle really, really well. And if you didn't want to deal with, some of the customer service things with the strikes or some of the trying to get the shoes things with rads, then I think, get the Nano 13s. These are an excellent substitution shoe in place of the more like boutique and harder to get shoes. So there are a few other ones that I also sprinkle in there. To be honest with you, I've been wearing a ton of just random shoes this year. Still use the free Metcon 5s. I think those are great, just whatever training shoes. If I'm not doing any heavy lifting, or even if I am doing some medium weight barbells, I think that those do them just fine. And then I'd say probably, the tiers is still pretty good. I just don't wear them as much just because I don't really have too many colorways of those. And I really like to coordinate my outfits with my colorways. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this year. To be honest with you, like I said, not a huge year yet for training shoes. We'll see what happens with the Metcon 9, but it's a very polarizing looking shoe. And then we have the Froning 13s, which I think look great. If you need you could just easily search for those online. They'll probably pop up. And then the Born Primitive shoes, looking forward to those ones as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Strike HAZE, still good. Red, still good. Barefoot shoes, VIVO PRIMUS LITE knits. The Saucony Freedom CrossSports, these are excellent shoes. I really like these guys. And then, of course, the Nano 13s. You can do no wrong. So if you guys have any questions about any of the shoes we talked about today, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And as always, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.